What is up, everybody? Teacher Willy here, and we are doing one of our English lives. We don't do them very often, but once in a while I like to do an English live for our advanced WhatsApp group and our intermediate WhatsApp group. If you'd like to participate in our WhatsApp groups, you can do a search for ACES English WhatsApp and apply to enter into the advanced group. So today we're going to talk about comparatives, and specifically we're going to talk about how we compare things and then how we compare things to say that they are equal. Pedro's here. Good to see you. Thanks for coming, Pedro. Remember that today your questions should be in English and the conversation we're going to have will be in English. So when we talk about comparatives, we want to compare two things. There are two main ways that we compare things. The first way is when we have words that have multiple syllables, like the word delicious, for example. If I want to say that something is delicious, but I want to say that it is more delicious, then that's what I use. I say more, and then I use the adjective, more delicious, for example. Another example, more beautiful. Beautiful, a multiple syllable word, we also use more. So if I want to say that eggs are more delicious than pancakes, for example, eggs are more delicious than pancakes. Then what I'm saying is that eggs are here, pancakes are here. So we can use more if we want to say that this first thing is higher, we like it more. We can also use less if we want to put the first thing below the second thing. So I can say eggs are less delicious than pancakes. In that case, I'm putting less, I'm putting the first thing lower than the second thing. So I can say eggs are more delicious than pancakes, therefore I'm putting eggs above pancakes. Or I can say eggs are less delicious than pancakes, and that way I'm putting the first item below the second item. So that's where we use more with multiple syllables. We also have ER, the comparative ER, especially when we have one syllable words, monosyllabic words. When we talk about, for example, big, I can say São Paulo is bigger than Palmas. São Paulo is bigger than Palmas. Then I'm putting the first item ahead of the second item. I can also say Palmas is smaller. So really I'm comparing the two and saying using smaller. So Palmas is smaller than São Paulo. I can use it both ways using the monosyllabic comparison. Then I can say both ways. Palmas is smaller than São Paulo, or São Paulo is bigger than Palmas. Also when we have ly, or just y. So for example, if I wanted to say, well, let's go on to the next part would be when we want to do an equal comparison, when we want to say that two things are equal. So for example, if I wanted to say that you and I run at the same speed. You and I run at the same speed. I could say, you run as fast as me. You run as fast as. So as is the way that we make an equal comparison. He drives as fast as she does. As she does, or as her. So he drives as fast as her. Okay, so when we want to compare two things and say that they are equal, we use as and as. Okay, so when we wanted to use a comparison and show more or less, then we can use more or less when we talk about words that have multiple syllables. We can use ER when we talk about words that have single syllables. And then if we want to do an equal comparison, we use as. In all of these examples, we don't have to actually say what it is we're talking about when it is understood. So if I were to say I run fast, and then I say you run slower, I don't have to say you run slower than me because I already talked about me and it is understood that I'm comparing you to me. I could also say you run fast and I run as fast. So if I say you run fast and then another sentence I say I run as fast, then it's understood that I mean I run as fast as you, or as whatever the subject was in the first sentence. And then a bonus tip is we have an expression where we say as adjective as they come, as something as they come. For example, I really like that car. It's as good as they come. It's as good as they come. And that just means that it is the best. It means that it's something very good. And we can say the opposite. If we use an adjective and say, I really don't like that politician. He's as bad as they come. He's as bad as they come. It means he is the worst. There aren't any that are worse than that. Just like in the car example, there aren't any that are better than that car, and we can use it to both ways. So that's the tip for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like the video. Let's see who's here. Pedro's here, Wesley's here, Sinara. Hi, Sinara, good to see you. Josie's here, Double D's here, Emerson's here, Deus é Fiel is here, Emerson Cipriano, mesmo sem entender quase nada. Deus é Fiel is not understanding, but is here, good. Maria's here, Sonia, good to see you. Good evening, Jonathan. Victor's here. I run as fast as Usain Bolt. Really? You think? I'd like to see that recorded. But very good use, Wesley. Good job. Until right now, I just can understand about 43% of what. Here you want to say I can understand about 43% of what he's said or of what he is saying. I lied. And Alessio's here. Good to see Alessio. So what other questions do you have for this very rare all English live stream? Let's come with your questions, what you'd like to talk about and hear about. You have the floor. Isaias, I have no questions today. I already gave a thumbs up. Okay, thanks, Isaias. Thanks for that. So Pedro says, the moment when you are happy because you understand at least half of what he's saying. That's evolution. Nice job. Good, Pedro, that is. You should be happy with that. That is an achievement. Nicely done. One of the things that I am hoping to get done before the end of August is the third video in our series about the present perfect. That is all English. I will put the link up and to the right if I remember to. And you can watch our videos about the present perfect that star Donald Trump, of all people. What form is more common? Kentucky University, University of Kentucky. I've already seen it both ways. It depends on the university itself. I'm pretty sure it's the University of Kentucky. Some universities say the state name, like Oklahoma University, for example. I know they say Oklahoma first. Most of the states say University of. I'm pretty sure it's the University of Kentucky. And all you need to do is Google it. Just put in State University, Kentucky, and it should bring you to the page. And on the .edu page of Kentucky, the university, I'm pretty sure it's the University of Kentucky. It should be that, but all of them are different. Almost all of them, for example, I'm from the state of Washington. It's University of Washington, University of Oregon, University of Wyoming, almost all of them. But like I said, Oklahoma is one example that I know that the state goes first. What's the difference between for and because? For is more formal. Much more formal in the sense when you use it like, I am I'm trying to think of like a Shakespearean kind of example of for. I am happy, for it is a beautiful day. I am happy, for it is a beautiful day. Super formal, super formal. Today, these days, we would say, I'm happy because it's a beautiful day. It would be very rare for someone to use for, but it does mean the same thing, but that would be when we would use that. Yes, is for more formal than because. Exactly, very good. It is very much more formal. Deus e fiel is understanding 2%. And happy, good, good, very good. Can you explain more about the expression a lot? Yeah, so a lot is the same as much or many, but we don't use it, for example, with adjectives. We don't say, the sky is a lot blue. If you say the sky is a lot blue, it doesn't make any sense. You would say the sky is very blue, so we would use very with adjectives. We use a lot when we're talking about quantities or frequency. So there are a lot of people, and the thing with a lot is that after a lot, we use of. There are a lot of people here. There are a lot of people here. Now, so if we say a lot of people here, and we say a lot, then we're talking about quantity. The interesting thing is, if we say there are people here a lot, let's see, let's have you guys put, who knows, if I say there are people here a lot, what am I talking about? So let's see, let's have somebody answer. If I say there are people here a lot, what exactly does that mean? And make sure it's in English. I wish I had better questions to ask, but I don't. No problem. Hello, Ivania. Good to see you. Thanks a lot. Yes. Yeah, for is more archaic. You're right, Wesley. So there are. Remember, if you want to say that you have a certain amount of things, and you want to say that they are many, then you need to say there are lots of people here. There are lots of people here. Not just there, but there are. Or there are a lot of people. So then we have those two options. They're both correct. There are a lot of people or there are lots of people. The main difference, lots is less formal, is used more on a day-to-day basis, an everyday basis. We use lots. A lot is, I mean, it's not formal, but lots is even less formal than a lot. And not they are, there are. Not they are. They are would be, if you want to say they are something, and not that there are. Sonata, what do you think about Frase Brasil, visit and love us? Yeah, I'm going to do a video about that probably tomorrow. I have no problem with it. I think people are making a big deal about it. Visit and love us there's no problem with it unless you want to make a problem. Visit and love us can be something sexual, but it doesn't have to be. And I think people are making a big deal about nothing once again. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna do a video about it. I have no problem with it. I think it's. I think they probably should have thought of possible, they should have asked around and figured out if there was any way to think of it as being a negative thing, but I really don't think it's a big deal. Hello, let's see, who else is here? Muitas pessoas aqui. Okay, so there are a lot of people here means that there are many people here, okay? There are people here a lot means that there are often a lot of people here. So what happens is, if we say a lot of people, we're talking about many people here. If we say there are people here a lot, it means that there are frequently people here. Maybe not a lot of people, but they are here often. And that's the difference when we have a lot before the subject and when we have a lot after the subject is that it becomes an adverb. How often, the frequency becomes an adverb of frequency. So if we say, there are people here sometimes, there are never people here, right? And the best way to say it is there are sometimes people here, there are often people here, there are frequently people here. That's the best way, but you can't say there are people here a lot, which means not that there are many people here, but that people are frequently here. And that's the difference between putting a lot before and a lot after. So we have to be very careful about that depending on what it is that we want to say. Thanks to Dajiminas, thanks for coming. Loads of is another option for a lot. Yes, loads of is another informal. A bunch of, bunches of, loads of, plenty of. Good. Those are all good, good synonyms. I'll sleep a lot. I'm tired. That's good. Okay, so when we talk about pretty, that's another good question. If you are a Portuguese speaker, I have a video about that. Pretty, the problem with pretty is depending on where you put the emphasis, it can mean something that is kind of, or it can mean very. Okay, so pretty, when you use it as an intensifier, can be something that is kind of, or something that is very. I'll give you two examples. If I say, for example, the example that I like to use, I'm going to play soccer. I need another player, okay? I need another player to play soccer. And you say, my brother plays soccer. My brother plays soccer. And I say, okay, is he good? There are two ways that you can answer that question. You can say, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. If you put the emphasis on good, then we know that you're saying that he is very good. So pretty in that situation, the synonym of pretty in that situation is very. He's pretty good. But if you say he's pretty good, if you put the emphasis on pretty, he's pretty good, that means that you're saying he's not terrible. He's okay. So it means reasonably. He's reasonably good. He's kind of good. Okay, so those are two different meanings. And what happens with a lot of intermediate and advanced English learners, and actually happened with a teacher who came to work at our school, and I had to correct him on it, is that many times we learn that pretty means very, and then you use it every time you want to say very, but the way that you put the intonation and the emphasis sounds like, not like very, but it sounds like reasonably or kind of. So we need to be very careful about the way that we use pretty, if we want it to mean very, or if we want it to mean kind of. So that's the thing about pretty as a quantifier. Of course, we also have pretty, which would be like beautiful, not exactly beautiful, maybe a kid would say pretty instead of beautiful. That's the adjective and not the quantifier, but that's another meaning of pretty. But that's a very good question. Which of them is correct? I already give or I already gave? Okay, so I already give. So remember that give is the present. So you can't already, okay, so if you want to say, it depends on exactly what you want to say. If you want to say that something that you already do, for example, somebody comes knocking on your door and says, please donate to the, in the United States, they say the American Heart Association. Please donate to the American Cancer Society or the American Heart Association, American Lung Association, whatever group. Then you can say, I already give to the American Cancer Society. I already give to the American Cancer Society. If you say, I already give, it's something that you're saying, that something that you have done in the past, you do now, and you intend to continue. So that's what already give means. Now, if you say, I already gave, it means that you did in the past. It means that you might give again, but the only thing that you're talking about is that one time or multiple times is the times that you gave in the past. So that's the difference there. I already give is something that is ongoing. I already gave is something that you've already done, that you already did in the past. Now, if you say, I have already given, and use the present perfect, then that's a way to show that you gave in the past with the distinct possibility of giving in the future. So you actually have three ways that you can look at that. And there are even more. If you use the present continuous, then you can give the idea that it's something that is happening now and will continue for the near future. So there are many actually different ways that you can say that. I have loads of money, yep. Hello, Maria Aparecida, good to see you. I'd like a little money, I think we all would. How do you say, yeah, I don't know. Don't know. I'm not doing any translations into Portuguese in this one for our international people watching internationally, but you can ask me in the next slide, but I have no idea what that is in Portuguese. Pedro's understanding 70%, very good. What's the difference between a bottle of ketchup and a ketchup bottle? Very good question. It's the same thing. In our method, when we talk, I think it's lesson 64 or something like that, we talk about wine and we talk about the same thing. So we have a bottle of ketchup or a bottle of wine and a wine bottle or a ketchup bottle. The difference between the two is a bottle of ketchup or a bottle of wine means that it has ketchup or it has wine in it, okay? A bottle of ketchup has ketchup in it. A bottle of wine has wine in it. If we talk about a wine bottle or a ketchup bottle, then we're talking about the bottle. We're talking about the thing that holds the wine or the ketchup. It might have ketchup or wine in it, but it might not. It might be empty, but the reason that that bottle exists is to hold ketchup or to hold wine. So if you say, for example, to someone, you go to a restaurant in Europe and you say, I would like a wine bottle, they could bring you an empty wine bottle because they think you want to take the wine bottle home and collect it or something. If I want a bottle of wine, then they know that you want a bottle with wine in it. So that's the difference. Very good question. And it's something, interestingly, that we talk about in our course. Very good question. Wesley. It's Wesley, right? Yes. By the way, when do I use a noun as an adjective? Now, there's no, that I know of, there's no set rule. When you use a noun as an adjective, it just happens sometimes. Sometimes we use the gerund as an adjective. Sometimes we use the past participle as an adjective. Sometimes we use the noun. I don't know that there's a set rule. That's something that I would have to look up. But that's one of those things. If I were to, I always say the three worst things are pronunciation, prepositions, and phrasal verbs. I might add later on, the fourth worst thing is adjectives, because there are so many different kinds of adjectives. Good, I feel very good. Good, so Victor says in step is what Jonathan wanted to know. Yes, 13. Everybody, 13. 13. So when we want to say 1-3, 1-3, 13, 3-0, 30, 30, 3-3, 33, 33. And one of the most fun to say is 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 13th. So he was the 13th person to come today, 13th, when we have the ordinal. You're very welcome, Wesley. Maria Aparecida is learning. João Ricardo, good to see you. Very good to see you here today. So remember, guys, this is not something we do often. Actually, it's the first time in months that I have done a live in English, but I'm going to try to do some more before we end. Remember, we're doing 85 days of videos every day, or until we get to 15,000 subscribers here on the channel. So if you have not yet subscribed, please do so now so that you can get in on our lives. Also, we have our classes in Portuguese. Just put lesson 20 this week. It was this week, I think. This week I released lesson 20. I'll be starting to write lesson 21. Probably next week I'll start on it. And we will continue to put at least the first 30 lessons that are in Portuguese here on the channel. And also we are doing a lot of lives during these 85 days, so don't miss it. Thank you very much, Deus e Fiel, as always, for getting everybody to like. So that's going to do it. If there aren't any more questions, thank you very much for being here. It's very nice to have the support of each and every one of you. You all are an important part of the ACES family. And I'll wait another 10 seconds to see if we have any more questions. God bless each one of you. Thank you, Deus e Fiel. And that's going to do it. Thanks for being here once again. Don't forget to like. Yes, João Ricardo, yes, we passed 14,000 subscribers and we are on our way to 15,000. Once we hit 15,000, I'll go back to probably once a week of videos, but it was something that I wanted to do because I really want to get to 15,000 subscribers. So, good evening. What's the difference between remember and remind? Very good question, Edson. So let's continue just a little bit. Remember is something that I do. I remember you, right? I remember you. So I see you and, oh yeah, I remember you. Remind is what I ask you to do. So if I say, remind me to buy milk, something that my wife could say, remind me to buy milk. It means that you are going to tell me. Okay, so if it's something that I remember, something that I recall, so for example, I remember when I went to João Pessoa. I remember when I went to João Pessoa. But if it's something that I want you to tell me so that I can remember then I would say remind. Remind me when we went to João Pessoa. Remind me when we went to João Pessoa. Then my wife could say, well, we went to João Pessoa in 2018, I want to say. 2017, 2018, I can't remember exactly, but I think it was 2018. So then she reminds me and I remember. So that's the main difference. If we don't, hey, thank you very much, Vitor. Thank you very much. So thank you. That is a super chat, and that is a way that people can show their support for the channel for us. It's been a long time since anybody's done super chat. Thank you very much, Vitor. You're the man. Appreciate it. And I don't know if I have a video about remember or remind, but I know it is on my list of videos to do in Portuguese, so I will be looking into doing that so that I can explain it, so that you can understand a little bit better in Portuguese. I don't teach on in Skype right now. We do have a hangout that we do once a month for people that support us. You can go to acesenglish.com.br/apoiar, and if you go there, you can see how you can be part of our English hangout. Yeah, so that's that. Very good. Thank you very much. Any other last questions before we wrap it up? And it looks like I froze. Hello? Can you guys hear me? Looks like I froze. So that's going to do it for today. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. On my screen, I froze. Hello, Sinara. Yes. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Or am I frozen and you can't hear the audio, or can you hear? Yeah. Okay, so everybody can still hear me. So that's going to do it for today. Thank you very much for being here. I don't know why it froze, but I appreciate the presence of everybody. I'll be back tomorrow with either an edited video or another live. Until then, everybody keep studying. Don't give up. We are here to help. I'll see you soon.